Today on Awakening with Amy, the most powerful manifesting technique. Welcome. I'm Amy Valentine, here to help awaken within you your ideal life so you can be, do, and have any desire. And today we're going to talk about a powerful way to transform your entire life experience, because your entire life is right now. This really stems from a question I received. It was an email question. Basically, she was struggling with how to create what she wanted. And she said, I'm affirming, I'm imagining, I'm studying. I've been studying, reading for years, and nothing has changed. I'm still living the same life. And look, that's a common thing. It's a common issue for all of us, is that we are doing the processes. We're embodying the teachings, and yet nothing is changing. Well, why? The reason is nothing is changing because you haven't changed. If you continue to judge by the appearances, then you will be enslaved by those appearances. Neville Goddard basically said that. There is no link of memory to the past. There's no link of memory to the past. A Course in Miracles. What are they telling us there? That we can tell the story how we want it to be, because the past doesn't create the now moment. The past doesn't exist. There's no link of memory to the past. Memory is a perception, an idea we're holding right now. So that's what I told her. In a loving way, I said, nothing has changed because you haven't changed. So if you want to transform your life, the only technique you need is to tell the story the way you want it to be, from that higher perspective, meaning from that knowing, that inner conviction that I can be, do, and have anything because I am a child of God, because I'm one with source energy. I'm one with it. I and the Father are one, but the Father is greater than I, right? The Father is greater, but we're one with it. Really let that sink in. There's no separation. We create the separation by believing in the fear, doubt, and worry. There is no source of fear. There is no source of worry. We create that story. That's all the ego is just a story of fear. Thoughts of fear that I can't have what I want, or I might get what I don't want. It's a misunderstanding of the only power. There's one source, one power, and it's loving. And if we get anything less than love, it's because we're filtering that energy through a bogus belief system, a bogus idea and assumption about ourselves in relationship to everything else. Everything depends upon the concept that you have of yourself. In other words, who and what you say you are. Are you letting the world tell you who you are? Are you letting your habits of thought tell you who you are unconsciously? Or are you deciding here and now, who am I? Let's read a Neville Goddard quote and we'll get deeper into the video. Use your imagination consciously, and after a while, you will stop fighting shadows. The conflict within you will cease, and your world will be at peace. Use your imagination consciously instead of fighting shadows, instead of fighting negative thoughts, instead of regretting the past, instead of wishing things were different right now. He's urging us to stop the struggle. Be unmoved by the appearances, and the appearances will literally rearrange themselves to what you're doing within your own human imagination. In other words, the story that you tell yourself. Your entire life is only the story that you're telling right now. So awaken to that. Wake up in the dream and take conscious control of what you allow yourself to believe and assume to be true for you. That's it. Come from that self-concept that I am source of my reality and my co-creator, the ultimate, the Father, infinite intelligence. God's will for me is for my ideal, for me to claim my ideal. But what you will not affirm and claim as true and possible for you will not manifest in a physical way in your reality. So that's what I told her too in the email. I said, unless you claim, independent of your circumstances, unless you claim you already are that person that you want to be, meaning it's possible within you, and see that what you don't want is also just one possibility in an infinite sea of possibilities. Until you understand and claim that, you will not manifest what you prefer. So that's the only thing you have to tweak. Transform your story here and now. Forget the past. Imagine your ideal. Go to the end and stay there. All transformation starts with an intention to know yourself as that oneness, that I can be, do, and have anything. And it's about ease, flowing energy towards your desire, not flowing energy towards desiring and waiting and searching and wondering. No, flowing, it's all about energy flow. Where your attention goes, energy flows. So be indifferent to the struggle, be indifferent to the unwanted. Nothing means anything without your definition, right? If you judge after appearances, you will continue to be enslaved by the evidence of your senses. In other words, you'll let the physical world tell your story instead of you claiming your creative power, your imagination, the way you talk about yourself, the way you tell your inner story here and now as your entire life experience. Powerful, right? So the God in you is your human imagination. That's what Neville says. The God within you is your own wonderful human imagination. And you can imagine whatever you want. So you want to be really conscious and deliberate about what you ponder, what you put your attention on. So it's not about fighting against what you see that you don't want. It's about letting it be there. It's not about fighting your thoughts. No, because when we fight our thoughts, we're saying they have power. So intend to mold and create consciously by telling the story the way you want it to be. All struggle exists because we're outside the present moment. All fear, all doubt is created by a bogus belief in a second power. There is no source of fear. Fear is simply that one power, that one source of love flowing through a bogus idea. And that's why we feel the fear and the doubt and the worry. Because it's an alarm bell saying, hey, you're telling a story of lack and of limitation, and that's not who you really are. So claim your ideal. Claim what you want because it's already given to you. This one thing I do, forgetting those things that are behind, I press toward the mark. That's from Scripture. Forgetting all things that went before. That's how all transformation begins right now. Forget the past. Forget it all and start over right now. Be new in this moment. Make your inner story your only reality. That's why they say, all the spiritual teachers say, the subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. Why? Because your conscious mind, subconscious mind are one. They're one with the superconscious, which is the divine mind, the God. They're all one mind. They're not separate minds. No, they're one mind with different jobs, different departments. So if the subconscious doesn't know the difference between what is a real, tangible reality and what is an imagined reality, that means an imagination and physical reality are both real. They're both one and the same. And the only reason why we see something or experience, manifest something is because we thought about it a lot. So focus on fulfillment. Forget about the how it's going to happen, when it's going to, forget time. That's what I told her in the email. I said, suspend your belief in linear time just long enough to abandon yourself to your ideal. Need no proof and evidence. You are the proof and evidence by what you imagine to be true for you. That's it. That's how you do it. That's the most powerful way to manifest anything and transform your reality is by taking the control and understanding that my imagination is one with God. And what I imagine to be true for me, God's will for me is my highest ideal. And that's always changing. Life is always changing into more and more and more of what I allow myself to believe to be true about myself in relationship to everything else. So make your inner story your only reality. Abandon reason and go to the end to fulfillment, no matter what things look like. And that's how you manifest your ideal. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking and sharing the video. Thank you for your awesome comments and for subscribing. And until next week, I'll see you soon.